Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is the 17th of February. It is Thursday, 2022. Hello, Miss Soxy. You want to come up and say hi real quick? Okay, we'll do that real quick. Oh, there's a little girl. There's a little girl. Alright, so I hope everybody is doing well. I hope your week is going well. It's already Thursday. Week's going by very, very fast. Alright, what we're going to be talking about today, 6 things that you should be very seriously prepping up in preparation for a grid down situation. Now, our power grid is very, very antiquated. It is beyond old. So there are transformers that are better than 25 years old out there. And if you have a house or anything, if you've been anywhere for any length of time, wear and tear, things get worse. You look at where we've come in the last 25 years, we have a lot more electronics than we used to. So you're talking about a lot more things plugged in, so a lot bigger strain on the system, right? What I want you to realize, there's 3 major possibilities that we're going to talk about as far as what would be a cause for a grid down situation. And then we're going to talk about what you should be stockpiling. So the number one thing that could possibly happen would be an EMP, which could be either by a foreign government or it could be by a coronal mass, from the sun. Okay, a coronal mass ejection that hits the Earth, like the Carrington event back in the 1800s. If that were to happen, the entire grid around the entire world would be down. So you're talking about a major, very bad situation that way. So that is definitely something that could happen that way. The second thing that could possibly happen would be some kind of terrorist attack, a very coordinated one. Our Achilles heel, and I've said this before, is our power grid. We are very much too reliant on the power grid. Excuse me. So that's an issue. That's a major issue. And so people don't think about that, but it's our soft spot. And our enemies know that it's our soft spot. So if they did a coordinated attack, I want you to think about it. If you guys look around in your neighborhoods where you live and stuff like that, the power stations, right? Generally a power station could be in the middle of nowhere with, it's got a fence around it. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much it. So it's not like there's guards on duty at the power stations. So if somebody was determined to do damage and cause problems, it really wouldn't be that difficult to do. And that could be something that could cause a power grid to go down for an extended period of time. The third possibility is, a cyber attack of some sort, attacking the power grid that would cause it to go down. Or like I said, and actually, so that kind of goes along with a terrorist type of attack. But there's also the possibility, because the grid is so old, just breakdown, causing issues and stuff like that as well. So those are the possibilities of what could happen. And generally, honestly, the way I look at it, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we're just waiting for that other shoe to drop. And when something like that happens, you're talking about complete lunacy in this country. All right, I mean complete lunacy in this country. So let's talk about 6 things you need to be stockpiling in preparation for this type of situation if it happens, or I should say when it happens. Number one thing I always talk about, the number one thing that if you don't have fresh water without water, you're dead in 3 days. If you don't have fresh water, you're looking at a possibility of dysentery and then dying by diarrhea, realistically. So that's going to kill more people than anything else, to be honest with you. So with water in mind, filtration systems. I've talked about this many times, the importance of not only having several different options as far as water purification goes, but also the knowledge how to do your own water filtration system using charcoal, sand, and fine stone. it's really not that difficult to do. And so that is definitely something that I think people need to be paying attention to. So water is absolutely number one. The second thing that you're going to really definitely need to have plenty of in a grid down situation of any length of time would be food. The stores will be out of food within days, if not sooner. Especially once people realized. So here's the thing: when people realize that the grid's down, it's not coming back up, and it's down for everybody. It's panic time. Okay, so everybody and their brother is going to be looking to go to those stores and try to get that last minute stuff that they need to get. My suggestion to people, if you are in that situation, I would not be going to the big box stores like a Wegmans or a Walmart or those type of places. I would not. Those would be the last places that I would go to. I would go to a convenience store, a small mom and pop store, someplace like that, where you're going to have a better opportunity and not face conflict getting what you need to get and that type of stuff. Like a 7-Eleven, they got plenty of canned goods. There's plenty of other stuff. A Dollar General would be another one. Those type of places. Those would be the places that I would be probably hitting, as opposed to the grocery store, because everybody's going to focus on the grocery store. So your Dollar General, your Dollar Tree, those type of places, they have plenty of food, and you can get in there, hopefully, and get in and out if you had to. My suggestion to people is, if you are prepared properly, you're not going to worry about going to the store. It's going to be very, very dangerous in a post-event to be in any of those type of situations. So preparing ahead of time, having freeze-dried food, having canned goods, having dry goods, and having enough food put back that you can survive a lengthy time without having to venture out. That would be the way to go. Okay. I got my list, so I didn't want to forget anything. The next thing that we're going to talk about is lighting. With a grid down situation, obviously there's not going to be any lights. So what should you be stocking up on? So people will say, oh, well, flashlights and batteries and stuff like that, which is not a bad thing, but unless you have rechargeable batteries and a way to recharge those batteries, that's going to run out pretty quickly. Candles are a great option. Kerosene lanterns are a great option. They have solar lights as well. Plenty of solar lights. I've talked about the D-Light before. Love that product. I think it's a great product. I have no endorsement with them whatsoever, but I really, really do like their product. So that would be one that I would highly recommend. It's going to give you plenty of light. Like I said, candles are definitely a good option as well. So definitely stock up on those things. They have the solar lights that the people put along the driveway. You can put them outside, let them charge up. At nighttime, you got light. It's another way of having light. Without, candles, kerosene, you're looking at more of an opportunity for fires. So you have to be very, very careful. So if you can have light in a different way, that's not a bad idea. Okay? The next thing would be fuel. And so, now I don't have the wood stove going right now. You can see that it's dark in there because it's like in the 50s today. So we have no fire going. But it is, if you have a wood stove, I would encourage you to have a couple years worth of wood on hand in preparation for anything, because you just don't know. So I think that that's a smart thing to do, and so definitely something to plan for. So that would be, that'd be one option, because with a wood stove you can cook on it and everything else, plus it's going to keep you warm in inclement weather. The other things would be propane, the propane bottles, the canisters of different sizes, definitely have different things like that. If you have a generator, making sure you have plenty of gas for said generator. Now, generator is going to be very noisy, so you're going to draw attention to yourself if you're running a generator. So those are things that you have to think about as well. You're going to try to want to not draw attention to yourself. That's going to be an important part, in a situation where you got a grid down situation. All right. And again, with lighting, your own solar system, your own power system to be able to run, to have, having battery backup, those type of things as well. If you can do that, it's the best way to go too, because if it was an EMP type of situation, that's definitely going to affect you as well. But if it was a cyber attack on a grid, or the grid going down because of anything else, it wouldn't affect you. So, that's an option. The next one is money. So you're going to want to have some cash on hand. In the short term, in a grid down situation, and I say short term, I'm talking maybe the first week, cash is still going to be king. Until people realize that cash is worthless. But it's a good thing to have on hand if you can get to a store, and even if the registers are down or whatever, they can estimate what the cost of different things are, and you just give them the cash, and then you get your stuff and you're out the door. So that's short-term cash is going to be a good thing to have. I definitely encourage people to have that, because the bank's going to be down, the ATMs are going to be down, there's not going to be any way to get any money out of the bank at that point. So you're going to have, again, what you have. Long-term, grid down, silver and gold. I'm more a strong believer in silver as opposed to gold, because it's definitely much more tradable. Gold is going to be much more difficult, denomination-wise. Excuse me, in a grid down situation. But they're gonna, both silver and gold are going to retain their value. Last thing we're going to talk about is communications. Having a way to communicate in a grid down situation. So the first thing that comes to mind is walkie-talkies, right? Like, I'll give you an example. I bought a set of walkies a while back. Gave one of them to Greg. And so if something goes down, I would just be able to communicate with him with no issues through the walkie-talkie. Instead of having to walk up to his place or him walking down to my place, we'd be able to communicate that way. Now, that's going to be obviously dependent on being able to charge said walkie-talkies. So that's, again, you need to have some kind of alternative power source to be able to charge them up, or have a tremendous amount of batteries, but again, eventually that's going to run out. The other thing would be CB radios. That's going to give you a pretty decent range, but not as good as you would hope. But the best way to do it is a ham radio. A ham radio, you're going to be able to find out what's going on outside of your general area, and so you can kind of stay informed, because knowledge is power, obviously. The other thing that I would suggest as far as communications is a hand crank radio. If there's an emergency broadcast system going on, if you have a hand crank radio, you're going to be able to pick up on that to try to find out what's going on, what to do, and those type of things, or what the dangers out there are. So communications is a huge part of it as well, because otherwise you're in the dark. You're sitting wherever you're sitting, not having any idea what's going on. That's a very scary situation to be in. So these are the things, guys, that I really think that you should be stocking up on, being as prepared as possible. Now, along with that, all right, we could go with a laundry list of other things, subcategories, if you will, that are important to have. But these are the 6 things that are top of the list as far as, if you want to put a 7th thing on there, a way to protect yourself. I mean, that's a huge, huge thing you better have in a grid down situation, right? You better have a way to protect yourself. Depending on where you are in the country or the world, the restrictive laws that they keep trying to impose on people, it's going to limit you what you can protect, the ways that you can protect yourself. In a grid down situation, all bets are off. So being able to protect yourself and your family is going to be a huge part of that as well. So that would be another one that I would put on that list, because it's hugely important. And but again, there's all kinds of other things that we could add on, tools and seeds and being so you can grow your own food down the road. That goes with food. So seeds would be a big part of that as well. Being able to have plenty of clothes and layers of clothes. Again, depending on what part of the country you are. If you're in the Northeast, or in the northern states, it can get pretty cold. So you better be able to stay warm in those situations as well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I definitely would like to hear your feedback on it. Real quickly, I'm going to talk about my website, PrepperNurse1.com. We have the Prepper Nurse 1 community there, which is a resource that we've set up for you guys to be able to connect with like-minded people. It is free to join. You do have to register, but no credit card information is asked. So definitely take advantage of that, okay? Also, once you're in, check out the message boards. Look for people in your state or your country. Excuse me. And that way you can connect that way. The second thing on my website, we have the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. Again, PrepperNurse1.com. You will see their logo, Forefathers. If you click on that, it will take you to their website. Once you are on their website, make sure you check out what they have. CBD products are a great thing to have long term, especially in a grid down situation. They help with so many different ailments. If you decide to make a purchase over there, make sure you use the discount code PrepperNurse1. That's the number 1, not O-N-E. You'll save yourself 15% on your purchase. So definitely take advantage of that. That's there for you guys. That's not going to ever change. That's something that I've set up with that company, and it's a good way to save money. All right. Last thing on my website, we have the Legacy freeze-dried foods. So again, PrepperNurse1.com. You click on store, it will drop down, you will see Legacy Foods. You click on that, it will take you to the store within the website. 25-year shelf life, GMO free, gluten options are available. It is also vegetarian, but there are beef and chicken options that can be purchased separately. Right now they're stocked up really well because there's not any major disaster happening, so they're shipping stuff out really, really quickly at this point in time. So definitely take advantage of that. Also with that, there is... what was I going to say? It's the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies, and like I said, it's made in the United States, so I like that part of it too. I definitely recommend the company. They're a great company to work with, and so that's why I work with them. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off here for now. This video will be going up at 3. There will be another video that goes up at 7, so definitely check that out. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that out, we're definitely going to be in much better shape. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so we never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that will stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay positive. Stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right? I will see you all tonight. I hope everybody's having a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.